Welcome back to Post Time and Happy Easter. Bunny Lake was the 2001 Harness Horse of the Year. And among her accomplishments, she also competed in the only female match race in harness racing history against the champion Worldly Beauty. Let's hop back in time for that milestone event. In this corner, we've got Bunny Lake.
Simply irresistible.
She was the 2001 three-year-old Pacing Filly of the Year, the Pacer of the Year, and the Horse of the Year. She's on a 4-race win streak, vying against the best ladies in North America. Going into this race, the 5-year-old mare, who was a $37,000 yearling purchase, has banked $1.9 million with 37 wins, 11 seconds, and 9 thirds out of 59 starts. And in this corner, we have Worldly Beauty.
She's a beauty.
She was the 2001 2-year-old filly pacer and the 2002 3-year-old filly pacer. She had recently beat some of the best boy horses in the country. Going into this race, the 4-year-old mare, who was an $87,000 yearling purchase, had banked $1.6 million with 19 wins and 3 seconds from 23 starts. So what's going through the drivers' minds before this big event at the Meadowlands racetrack? Well, my friend Bob Hollywood Heyden found out.
Luc Ouellette and John Stark Jr. have joined us. Luc, you are the only driver who's driven both. You've drawn post 2. What about some strategy here?
Well, I'm not really sure. I'm going to have to see it as we go along, you know. I was fortunate. I sat behind Bunny Lake once, and at least I got to try her a little bit. And, you know, she's such a good horse. It's fun to be part of it, you know. Drove her one time. Worldly Beauty, I've driven her almost every start. That's been great. I really don't know. You know, I don't know what John's going to do when the gate opens, and I guess we're just going to figure it out.
Okay, John Stark, you also train Bunny Lake. Tell us what kind of week she had, and did you alter her regimen at all?
Well, this year I've been training her like her 3-year-old year. Last year I used to train her a lot, and she wasn't as strong. This year I went back to the way I trained her at 3 and keep her out in the field more often, and she seems to be a lot fresher.
Yeah, post position 1. Does that mean your strategy is already determined for you?
Well, she pretty much knows what to do.
Have you been in a match race before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, Luc Ouellette, how about yourself? You been in a match race before?
Yeah, but usually it would be a second heat or a third heat. You know, this is going to be different here. You know, match race, I've never been in one before, but I've been in finals where there's only 2 or 3 horses.
And I remember you told me that they want to race Worldly Beauty this year off the pace. Certainly her first start worked to perfection.
Well, you know, she's got full red-like speed, you know, hopefully, you know, that works right for her tonight, you know.
John Stark, Bunny Lake, approaching $2 million. Is she as good now as she's been?
Actually, yeah, she seems a lot stronger this year than even last year. Seems to keep well, keeps her weight good this year, and she just feels good all the time.
We'll be seeing you right here after the race in the winner's circle?
I'll tell you in about 15 minutes.
Okay, John Stark, Luc Ouellette, how about you? We going to see you right after the race for another interview?
I sure hope so.
Well, we've met the lady contenders and their main men, so it's time to go behind the gate at the Big M and send it up to announcer Sam McKee for the race call of the first ever female match race.
And they're off, and they pace out of there together, and Bunny Lake and John Stark Jr. have no intention of giving up that inside advantage, and they'll take the lead onto the opening turn as Luc Ouellette backs off early with Worldly Beauty and drops her neatly in behind Bunny Lake as they pace toward the quarter. And as soon as Worldly Beauty tucks, Stark grabs into Bunny Lake a little bit, looking to back down the pace, and Bunny Lake is traveling comfortably on the lead right now, and Worldly Beauty is also sitting pretty comfortably in the pocket there in second. The opening quarter in 27-2 as the 2 mares head down to the back stretch. Their sires, Precious Bunny and Arts Place, were rivals, and these 2 are set up for a great rivalry this season. Worldly Beauty, of course, now 4, her first time against older mares, and Bunny Lake now at age 5, one of the most prolific mares in the sport. No change in position and no pace here as John Stark is able to back into Worldly Beauty. Bunny Lake is comfortably in front, and it will turn into a sprint home, and Worldly Beauty looks pretty relaxed there, sitting in second right on the helmet of John Stark Jr., and the half was in 58-2, a 31-second second quarter. So Bunny Lake is waiting for Worldly Beauty to commit to the outside, and the pace is still very soft as they head around the far turn. Bunny Lake controlling the front end here, and Stark is doing everything that he's wanted to do so far, being able to back down the pace, and Worldly Beauty is now showing the whip right on the helmet there of Bunny Lake, and Luke is waiting as long as possible as the pair pace to the 3/4 marker, and Bunny Lake hits that station 1:28 and 2, a 30-second third quarter, and now the sprint begins, and Bunny Lake has the lead. Worldly Beauty is tipped to the outside, though, and they are rolling with an eighth of a mile to come. Bunny Lake is digging in gamely. Worldly Beauty trying to get to her on the outside. Bunny Lake hanging in there. Worldly Beauty still a length away, still trying on the outside. Bunny Lake is almost there, and at the line, it is Bunny Lake holding on from Worldly Beauty.
Bunny Lake took advantage of the inside post and controlled the race, and winning by a head in 1:54 and 2. It was a 26-second sprint to the wire as Bunny Lake held off the favorite, Worldly Beauty, in the match race between the two champion pacing mares.
Luke, I got 2 words for that race myself, as advertised.
Yeah, well, we had the 2. I took a little peek. I didn't think John was going to let me get around him, so I tucked behind him. And like I said, it was going to take thoroughbred speed to get around him finishing. And for now, when I handicap, I just know she can't come home no better than 25 and 4. So,
In a race like this, it's almost impossible to look back and try to do anything different, but is there any chance you might have pulled in the far turn a little bit earlier?
No, I think if I pull earlier, I just get beat more. You know, I think I got to him. I got to as close as I was going to get to him, and you know, that's it. You know, 25 and 4. That's all we could do.
Great effort from Worldly Beauty. John Stark, tell us the first 16th, first eighth of a mile here, very, very quick.
Well, it did actually come down to post position. I think if the post position was reversed, I don't know if I could beat him from behind because, you know, when I got my own way, it's kind of hard to get by her because nobody softened her up.
The purse for the match race was $50,000, so Bunny Lake made $35,000 and Worldly Beauty won $15,000. However, each of these classy ladies donated a total of $10,000 to charity. The Standardbred Retirement Foundation, which is an organization that finds homes for harness horses who can no longer race, got $5,000. And the Harness Horse Youth Foundation, which is dedicated to educating and bringing young people into our sport, also got $5,000. So ultimately, everyone was a winner.